People are also pay attention to other things like, oh, I'm so bored and it's not normal life, but it is not normal time. Hi everyone, I'm Holo, Zheng. I'm come from China and I've been in Israel for 6 years. This year, I also, very fortunately, in this unfortunate time, involved in the launch of voluntary initiative fighting coronavirus from Israel for China, which is called Standing with Wuhan. This year, 2020, I actually went back to China in January to wrap up this year at headquarters and also spend some time with my parents. However, between these two things, work and family, we sense change. People start to talk about the virus and people start to try to calculate how it will become academic or not. And I made a decision to not visit my parents so they don't have to fly. I don't have to fly. And I came back to Israel. All the way I was wearing a mask. But my experience was that while I was in China, majority of people are wearing masks. In Korea, already less than half. And when I arrived in Israel, almost nobody but me. One of the misunderstandings of the mask is that if you're putting on a mask, you must be the sick person. But a lot of times putting on a mask in a flu season is simply a way to protect yourself from getting the flu. So putting on a mask, before everything is to protect yourself, not necessarily because you're sick. And if we can look at this both ways, either protect others or protect yourself, I think we should have nothing but respect for people who wear masks rather than be afraid of them or go against them. I keep up with all the data. I read all the tips, all the stories, all the news. I was telling my boyfriend that for that 1 week, I'm probably one of the most knowledgeable person of coronavirus in Israel, together with probably some fellow Chinese. It's very different when we face a known threat and an unknown threat. That is why when a lot of people try to compare coronavirus to flu, I suggest not. I think first of all, the attitude is that we need to understand this is an unknown threat. To start with, to be humble, to really make this a learning journey. Every country has its own reality, different scenario. So in China, we think lock a city. We already know it's an epicenter, is the best way. Stop the normal life of the whole country is a sacrifice we're willing to take. However, if we're looking at Singapore, they're using a different method. They're asking people to stay at home. But is it wrong? Probably not. Maybe they are using the method that is suitable for them. Because if we compare the number of clinics in Singapore that can take patients with fever per capita is much higher than even one of the most developed city, Shanghai in China. Some people, when they talk about, especially in Israel, when people talk about, wow, really? The whole China stayed at home for 1 month? That's a really long Shabbat. For Israel, I'm really not in the position to comment. The most important is to stop the transmission. And then you can cure whoever you can confirm. In this process, I think we should just focus on follow the instruction, wash your hands, wear masks, rather than feeling that I might be lucky or might be luckier or, maybe they don't know. Or instead pay attention to other things like, oh, I'm so bored and it's not normal life, but it is not normal time. And for the government, I think the instruction is not clear enough. I heard at airport, the temperature detection is still not there. I would be expecting more clear instruction to make sure that people do not have to be left in the limbo, but be very sure this is what we need to do, this is what we cannot do. There's nothing to be afraid of, there's nothing to panic, but we really have to learn. The transmission is a process that if you want to stop it and help ourselves and help the country and your family and your friends, everyone is part of it. And do not take any chances because it doesn't worth it. It shouldn't be something that people are shy of. It should be something that people respect and encourage. Not laugh at people who are wearing masks and respect people who actually take a measure and just wanted to be cautious is the right approach. Those people who have this contempt, this arrogance over things like over a virus will be the first one suffer because they don't know how to protect themselves. Arrogance is the reason that virus got us in the first place.